Hey guys, it's Mike. This is a DM Dungeon Master tip. I saw something posted on Facebook, and it was a pretty good question, an issue that comes up. And just in case anyone is watching this who already saw the upload I did that was rogues can't roll under 25, that's this. I'm re-recording it because I didn't like the video quality. So let's try it again. Let's go over to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition group where we see Joseph Frank posted this question for people. DMs out there, how do you handle using traps with a rogue that has expertise in perception, investigation, and reliable talent? Disclaimer, I'm not nor have I ever played in a style to punish or diminish the rogue's ability. I'm just at the point where I just don't see the point in including traps, doors, etc. My players like to say, I investigate or look, depending on the situation, for traps. I have reliable talent, so I can't roll under a 25. Do I see the traps? They're so paranoid that when the player attempts to do anything, they cut them off and say, before they do, I look for traps. Oh, I can even switch back to me and go, I look for traps. He goes on to say, I don't want to raise the DC just to make the game harder because that's punishing players and party members, punishing the players and the party members. Okay, whatever. Okay. Great question. Great question. The first thing I'll say is I don't super love traps. I don't think they're I don't think they're a particularly good game mechanic, and I think they're used poorly all the time. So, for instance, if you have a trap that's just sitting out in the middle of nowhere and it's going to do a few points of damage, it's kind of just annoying. It doesn't like further the plot. It doesn't create any drama. It's just like, oh, I took 5 damage because I didn't. Okay, sure. If you have a trap that like is combined with another thing, so let's say goblins set a trap, and when the trap springs, then they jump out and attack, and you got one player down in a pit or something like that, that's a much more interesting and dynamic situation. But just traps that are just there to like whittle away at HP, I don't know. Unless the dungeon is set up as a dungeon with a lot of traps so that like players know they got to be careful as they go, otherwise when they get to the end they're not going to be prepared. Otherwise, like, or it's that situation with the goblins, I would just assume not do traps, though there are traps that are maybe a little better and create more drama, like you spring a trap and now the room is filling with water. It's like those traps that then force the players to do a bunch of things different and have to expend resources and get out of a tricky situation. Those are good traps. The pit, 5 damage, leave those. Don't do those. Anyway, to answer the specific question of, well, but these, like, I want to do traps, but they just won't work because I got this rogue that can't roll under a 25. The first thing I will say is, do not artificially increase your DC. Do not avoid doing traps because this rogue can disarm them so easily. Keep in mind that rogue, that player, invested resources and points and skills to being able to do this. They had, when they leveled up, they had choices. Do I take the feat? Or do I increase the skills I want to be able to do exactly this, to disarm traps? If they did that and you take them out of the game, it's just making their choices meaningless, and it's taking away the fun that they want to have fun by disarming all these traps and being a master rogue. Let them win. You don't make everyone deal more damage because there's a barbarian in the party. Oh, the barbarian can take so many hits. I'll just increase the damage. I don't think that's a good strategy either. You have to acknowledge that your players they want to have fun in their ways, and so you shouldn't deprive them of that. You're there to have fun with them, so let them win sometimes. If they built a character to do a specific thing really well, then let them do that thing really well. Just let them do it. So don't raise the DC to make them fail. to artificially increase the challenge, and don't deprive them of that challenge. What you should do, however, is incorporate that into the game. So if they are this master lockpick puzzle solver that no trap can ever get the best of, then when they come back from some like trap infested goblin thing, have people ask them like, how did you get through all the traps? We've sent many adventurers. And let the like word spread that there's this like master lock pick puzzle solver within this party. Let him be renowned. Let it become part of the story. Let the king summon him to like pick some kind of like really hard to pick lock and have it be integrated into the story. And you can also throw some wrenches at them, in that have like someone approach them about some infamously difficult lock filled dungeon with a treasure that like maybe they can solve it, but he sent already 10 adventurers on it and none of them have come back. Let that be part of the story. And when they go there, they're not going to get frustrated when like some of the locks are really tough, because they went into it knowing that like, oh, we should prepare for this. This is going to be really, like, we're going to need this rogue to be on the top of his game, but also let's be careful because this is supposed to be really, really difficult. And then you can even throw an additional kind of wrench into it by having some of these puzzles or locks require maybe 2 things to be disarmed at the same time. So the rogue's good, maybe, but what about the rest of the party? They're going to be scrambling, and that's some drama that's really fun. Can the rogue, like, can the party find a way to put the rogue in 2 spots at once? Or does the rest of the party have to like figure out how do we boost our skills up to do this? Or can we follow the advice, like what the rogue is telling us to do? You know, it could lead to all sorts of great drama. And I would also, because I am this kind of DM, I would also throw in that the guy who sent them on that quest in the first place, and this is something I picked up from a DM that I've played with, and he's great, and it's similar to, so he had sent us on a puzzle filled kind of dungeon, and in the end the guy who sent us was that master puzzle maker or whatever, and he sends adventuring parties who think they're really great to go after his, he thinks, unpickable locks and unbreakable puzzles, so that he can like pull all the items that you've collected off your dead bodies from within the dungeon. So it's his trap, and maybe you find him at the end and he's like, how did you, oh no, oh yeah, and he has to explain why he's there, and you know, maybe they'll figure it out, or they have to go find that guy then. He sent us on a death mission. There was no treasure at all, or maybe there is a treasure and he just thinks that you're never going to get it, and he like kind of he comes cap in hand and he wants his stuff back because some of that has sentimental value to him. So it could go all sorts of ways. But yeah, the way I would deal with a rogue who's really, really good is to make it part of the story, and then also have up the challenge in a way that he's prepared for or he or she is prepared for, by sending them to some legendary puzzle or lock pick-a-thon. It's not a word. Is it a word? Yeah, I guess it is. All right, cool. So that would be my recommendation for this person. Like, how do you deal with someone who can't roll under 25? That could be applied to any skill set in the game, really. And also make sure to, like, you know, if they really, really, they're super niche in what they can do really well, I mean, obviously throw some other stuff at them. I mean, maybe that's the fun for them, that they're really great at lockpicking, but they can't do a lot of other stuff properly, in which case, you know, it's balanced. You know, they've picked that they want to be, you know, only good at certain things. So, all right, that's my DM tips. If you like this content, I'm going to be putting out more stuff. It's going to be DM tips. It's going to be stories from my game stores, and it's going to be stuff about my dice operation Viridian. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. Bye.